What's up everybody and welcome to a brand new FIFA Friday here on TGI. I'm Matt and today we're going to be carrying on with our FIFA 16 Manager Mode Career Series here with Aston Villa. So last time out we got ourselves over the line. We are the champions of England. 7 games to spare, but after dismantling Chelsea in their own backyard we have given ourselves an unassailable lead at the top of the table. 26 points clear with only 21 still to play for, so we are champions. Now obviously that is not where our season ends. There is still potentially another 14 games left to go in this season. 7 in the league, okay, but 7 very important games in cup competitions. Today we'll be going into our quarter-final leg of the Champions League against Atletico Madrid, obviously with hopes that we can progress beyond that. And we've also got a little matter of an FA Cup semi-final encounter against Newcastle to deal with. So even though the league's over, we still have plenty of work to do in those cup competitions. So just show you quite quickly right here. So in this first game, the Premier League games, we're going to start using our second 11 teams because I really want to obviously have all our best players as fit and raring to go as possible for those 2 games against Atletico Madrid. They are the real big games that I'm focusing on. Have to win those. We promised our fans that we would do something in Europe. We won everything else already last year, so let's get into this one here. Well, like I said, going with our quote-unquote second 11 in the league now against West Brom. It is a local derby, so I would still like to get ourselves a win. You never want to lose to your rivals, but like I said, this is just a mere warm-up for that Champions League game. But let's get into it anyway and see if we can get ourselves a win against our rivals. And in the first game of the week, that's a really good omen. We've absolutely smashed our rivals 4-0 at home, celebrating the fact that we are league champions in style. Iheanacho grabbing himself the first goal of the game inside 5 minutes with a pretty calm finish, and then Batut giving way too much space on the edge of the area and he buries it in the bottom corner. Not going to pass up an opportunity like that. And then just as we kicked on the second half, again Jesse now being given far too much time, had the shot, not the best of shots, but the keeper for whatever reason was not interested in even trying to save that, and then to round it off, an absolutely fantastic ball once again from Bakuna. Despite those contract troubles we may have had with him, he does deliver a mean cross, and Iheanacho headed down into the ground for his second of the game, and that was it. Ben Foster did make the odd save as well, as you can see, but it was all us. West Brom were not at the races whatsoever, didn't have a single shot, kept the ball quite well, you can see 60%, but what's the point of keeping the ball if you're not doing anything with it? We bossed the game, we scored the chances, and a very convincing win, which is just what we needed to build our confidence, like I said, ahead of this Atletico game. We've got I feel I'm in really good form, so thanks for playing me. No problem. No problem. So yes, there we go. Just a few days now for that game. It's a huge game. Load these all up, get everyone training and fit and raring to go for this game. Tete in good form. Look at that. Iheanacho's gone up almost another whole level through one training. I don't know what it is, this guy. Is he going to be like a 90 overall or something? He just seems to fly up with this training. It's crazy. Obviously a good thing now, I suppose. Press conference. We don't do many press conferences throughout the years, but I don't think I've actually done a single one. But Aston Villa, let's motivate them ahead of this game. Not that they should really need me to motivate them. They should be able to do it all themselves. The biggest game they have ever played in. A quarter-final of Champions League against Atletico Madrid was kicking off at home. So 2 things we've really got to work on here is, number 1 is see if we can get ourselves a lead, but number 2, do not concede that away goal. We had a couple of emails in here just for there's a contract offer from before for Sane and Tete. They've been really good for us, so just upping their money a little bit more. So there you go. We talked about it. I told you when they say, oh, I'm not going to sign it, and then it's like, oh, I'm still thinking about it, and now he's gone and signed it because he wants to stay at the club. That's good for us. He's a good young prospect centre-half for us, is Okore, so he will now be part of our plans for the future. All good news, people signing their contracts in the build-up to the game. Now here we go. First 11, all nice and fresh. Hopefully Tete doesn't go getting himself booked in this game, or Amarvi, because they are both one yellow card away from suspension. But don't really care about that. All I want to see in this game is that we go out there and get ourselves a win. It's really important to build that lead in the first leg, especially when you're at home. Atletico Madrid is going to be a tough team, but I have faith that we can do it. I sense that it could be our year. Look at that, Barcelona are playing Bayern as well in the leagues, in the cup. So that's a really good opportunity for two teams. That means that one of them is getting knocked out, so that paves the way a little bit easier for us. But obviously we've got to win our own tie, so let's get into this. Come on, boys. Biggest game of the season. Let's get ourselves a win in front of our own fans. What an unbelievable night in the Midlands this evening. Aston Villa have surely got one foot in the semi-final of the Champions League, and it's thanks to one man, that man right there, Angel Correa. He got himself the first goal. He then beat the offside trap and got himself another, his second goal, sticking it past Luis against the team that sold him in the summer for peanuts comparative to what it is now. And then mixed up with the defence. Who was there on hand? Correa once again, his hat-trick tapping in, taking advantage of that defensive mix-up. And we were running ragged over what should be a very solid defensive team in Atletico Madrid. And then when they brought down Sane as well, it was only yellow, could have been red, looked like he was through on goal. Maybe they considered it to be a covering defender, I don't know. But who stepped up? The man with all the confidence in the world, Angel Correa, sent the keeper the wrong way and got himself his fourth of the game. 4-0 against Atletico Madrid. I couldn't have dreamed of a scoreline this good when we started. And Correa wasn't done. He was still testing the keeper from the edge of the area, outside of the boot, and he was just on song, trying to prove his former team wrong, drawing fouls, frustration from the boys in red and white. But my God, what a performance by Angel Correa. We were clinical. Atletico did have a couple of half chances, but never really troubled Rulli in our goal. So not only, when I said let's get ourselves ahead in this tie, let's keep a clean sheet, I was thinking 1-0. I wasn't thinking 4-0. That's unbelievable performance by Aston Villa. And here we go. Here is no love lost for Angel Correa. Let's have a look. We bought him. Look at that. We got him in for 11.5 million plus Sanchez. So we didn't even spend that much money on him. And look at him now. It's absolutely unbelievable. He was in reflective mood. Of course he was. But no matter what Atletico think, they obviously wish they'd never sold him now. And surely that puts us through into the semi-final. Let's have a look at the other quarter-finals just very quickly. Actually, no, we'll wait until we've done our second leg and then we can see actually who is going to be in the semi-finals. There we go, Adama. I may not be the first name on the team sheet, but I feel I should be getting some more playing time. Well, unlucky. The team is playing so well. We could, I suppose, I could move him in for one of the Premier League games. I suppose I could give him some game time. He did play well in a couple of games in the last video when he was needed, when the squad was getting a bit stretched off the bench. So yeah, we could bring him in. We could bring him in here. I'll do it just before the game so that it doesn't reset the whole squad. But yeah, I'll give him a start ahead of, looks like Jesse there's a little bit on the tyre side, not too much, but I'll give him a start in this game against QPR. And again, yeah, let's just stay fresh. Not going to bring on any of our other players, although after the 4-0 win, some could say that the tie's already done. But I want to keep our best players available for that second leg in Madrid, just in case. Want to make sure we shore that leg. If we can beat them 4-0, they can beat us 4-0. So we need to make sure that we do a defensive job. But right now, let's just go and enjoy this game against QPR. Keep totting up some wins. Let's see if we can continue the season undefeated. We haven't lost yet. We've been close a couple of times, a couple of late equalisers, but it would be nice if we could keep going and remain undefeated. So here we go, QPR, a game we should win, but who knows? At the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. We're already the champions. And we get the job done very professionally with a 2-0 win at Loftus Road against QPR. Adama on his start for the club after requesting. Had a great chance to score there, but unfortunately blasted over from a few yards. However, when we did get back into the area a few minutes later, Sarabia cut it back to Iheanacho, and Iheanacho didn't make the same mistake. He slotted it in confidently now after his brace in the last game. I say confidently, you look at that one, right after he'd scored his 8th of the season. He had an absolute mare with that one, missing from similar sort of distance, striking it over. Adama there with another effort. He was getting himself in the right places, and then QPR had a glorious chance to equalise as the diving tackle of Shah was in vain, but they couldn't quite hit the target. And then from this point in does come Adama, and he does finally get his goal with a great finish. Although he would ultimately be denied by the flag of the linesman. He was just half a yard offside. Such a shame, because it was a really good finish on the volley, picking it out of the air. And again, QPR, they threatened. They did cause us some trouble at the back there. Credit to them. Definitely putting us under more pressure than we've had in the previous 2 games. Dragowski wasn't necessarily called into action, but it was pretty close. And Adama, again involved, did cut it back this time to Sinclair, and he rifled it home. Keeper getting a hand on it, but it wasn't enough. And in off the underside of the crossbar, 2-0 to the Villa. Another 3 points picked up, and another step closer to greatness. It'd be really good. Not since the Invincibles of 04 has a team gone undefeated in the Premier League, and we are now only a few games away from being able to do that. Do some training here, but hopefully no one gets injured in any sort of training as we look to move on to this big game. Okay, we've done really well. We've got ourselves in a fantastic position. Should we we'll do a press conference? Should we do a press? Yeah, it worked last time. Attend. Just remind our players about how well we did in the last game. Happy to recall previous easy win. I would not say easy win. Well-earned win is what I would say. I would never use the word easy. But here we go. Back out against Atletico Madrid now. Full team. Back in again. I'm tempted to rest Tete and Amavi so I don't get cards. Nah, that'll be alright. I'll just know with them. Don't dive in on tackles. Don't dive in. That's fine. Here we go. Away to Atletico Madrid right now. Obviously, we've done all the hard work getting that excellent 4-0 win at home. So all we have to do here is just be sensible defensively. I don't think we've conceded more than 2 goals in a single game all season, so to concede 4 will be very unlikely, but can't take anything for granted. Let's just be organised, and look at Correa there. He's joint top goal scorer with Llorente. Let's see if we can get Correa a goal and make him the outright leader for the European Golden Boot as well. There you go. You can see down in the bottom right corner, actually, that's where the quarterfinals are at this stage. United level with Real Madrid. Sevilla and Atletico, the other one. That's an interesting quarterfinal. We'll take the winners of those, thank you very much, if we get through, and then let Real and Barcelona battle out the other semi-final. Yeah, we'll take that. Alright, here we go. Anyway, second leg, Champions League. Let's just make sure we don't do anything stupid, and we'll be through to the semi-finals. And as expected, we do the job in Madrid in order to see ourselves through to the semi-final. We actually even managed to grab ourselves a couple of late counter-attacking goals. Atletico Madrid were the better side. You see there, they did score early on. Rulli coming for a cross and not quite getting there. Luckily for us, it was offside. It was close though. I mean, I don't know if they're going to show the replay right here, but when I first saw it, I didn't think he was offside. I really didn't. It was so close. But yeah, Correa didn't have the best game up front. He did have a couple of half chances and couldn't grab himself his goal. But Bacuna, when he came on with some fresh legs, managed to get down that right hand side, cut it back for Sarabia, another substitute, and he stuck it home with less than 10 minutes to go, which kind of shored it up for certain. And then almost the final kick of the game, when Correa again was trying to score, still trying to grab his goal, he got his heels clipped in the area. Down, another penalty, so Obviously, only one man was going to step up and take it. It was Correa, and he rifled it right into the top corner. Lloris didn't move, but even if he had, he would not have saved that. That was a top draw penalty. And that was it. 2-0 was the result on the night. 6-0 on aggregate. But as you can see there, like, look, we only had... Well, it says we only had one shot on target. Obviously, we had more than that. But Atletico, they were the better team. They were the better team. We restricted them to only a couple of efforts, luckily for us. But they were the better team. We didn't need to do too much. We just sat there. It wasn't the most exciting game, but it got the job done. So we can now have a look and see who's going to be in the semi-finals. So Real Madrid did see it through. Sevilla have seen through. And Barcelona saw off Bayern Munich. So would be pretty nice if we could get Barcelona and Real Madrid in the other semi-final. I would fancy our chances a lot more if that was the case. But we will have to wait and see what the draw churns up. Either way, we're going to have to beat at least one of those teams to lift the trophy. So we move on now from one cup competition to another cup competition. Little matter of an FA Cup semi-final, an equally big game. So look at how we got 4 million for progressing through to the semi-finals of the cup. Just before we go into FA Cup mode, I want to see if they've done the draw yet for the semi-finals. I'm not sure exactly how quickly it's done. So we can see over on the other side, oh, it looks like it's already been played. So Chelsea will be in the final. They are waiting there for us if they get through. Copa Europe, yep, okay. Oh no, that's Sevilla, so who's... That is... So no, we did not. And it was actually Bayern Munich. That was only after the first leg. I didn't realise that. So we have not been lucky enough to draw Sevilla. We will indeed be playing Bayern Munich in the semi-final. So that is a huge game. So we are definitely having to do this the hard way. Dortmund, Atletico Madrid, Bayern Munich, and then probably Real Madrid. So that is definitely not an easy route to final. We don't need to worry about that right now. That will be in the next video. Right now, we've got one more important game to focus on, which is this FA Cup semi-final. I think I'm going to go with these guys, my cup team. I feel confident. We've got the likes of Correa, El Shaarawy, Sane, Payet. They can all come off the bench if needed, but these boys here, they've been playing well. They got a couple of really good results in the league for us, and now I'm going to give them a chance in the FA Cup semi-final. People there still recovering from the trip to Madrid, so these boys are fresher. Hopefully they can get the job done against Newcastle in this FA Cup semi-final. We're really good to get us into the final once again, see if we can defend that trophy. We want to win it all. We want to win it all. We are so close. We're already halfway there. We're in 2 semi-finals. This could be a historic season. Or it already is a historic season, but an even more historic season for Aston Villa. Let's see if we can get ourselves into another final. And we are heading back to Wembley again. A 2-0 victory over Newcastle in the semi-finals at Wembley, surprisingly enough, has earned us victory. FA Cup competition is going to come back to Aston Villa once again. We dominated the game, to be fair. Iheanacho carrying on his form that he has shown so much in this video. In every game he's played, he's looked like scoring. He got himself a goal once again here. That's 4 in 3 games. And Jesse, in his new number 10 role, absolutely ran the show and got himself a well-deserved goal. Even though he took a whack from Tim Krul for his troubles, he stayed strong and got the ball in. And it was 2-0. Wasn't the most exciting of second halves after that. We did try to keep going. Adama, who was in, running past the Newcastle defence, but just couldn't slot it past Tim Krul. Going wide anyway, but he wasn't to know that. And from then on, Newcastle didn't ever really look like troubling us. Sinclair went very close to adding a third. Yeah, if anything, we were going to score more. Newcastle, no chance. Didn't even see this at the very start. Jesse running in through the defence and shot it across the keeper. Just about kept out. You don't actually. I'm just going to show you this actually. I just noticed this going in at the back. Watch. Is it Adama? I think it's Adama with his scissor kick attempt. So So there we go. Oh, no, not in there. That's another final for Aston Villa. The season keeps getting better and better and better. We are now only 3 more games away from glory. Granted, they're going to be 3 very tough games because we've got the likes of Chelsea, we've got 2 against Bayern Munich and probably 1 against Real Madrid if we get that far. So, no easy games on the pursuit to immortality, but no one ever said it would be easy. There we go, match retransferred, blah blah blah. Nothing interesting there. We'll do a little bit more. You know what I'm going to do? Because Dragowski is just going up far too fast, I'm going to give Rulli a little bit of a chance to do some training as well. Make it fair. Oh, well, look at that. He didn't exactly set the world on fire, did he? He got a D. Maybe we'll go back to Dragowski afterwards. There we go. We've got time for 1 more game. Yeah, why not? Let's finish this game off here. And then, let me just have a look. I think the calendar, if I was right, I thought I just saw a bit of blue. Because if that's the case, let's have a look. Season calendar. Yeah, so we want to Saturday to Wednesday. Probably want to play my second 11 again here, so that first team is 100% fresh when it comes to the Champions League game against Bayern Munich. My God, what a game that will be. We'll save that for the next video. That's what we'll do. We'll simulate up to it. But yes, I want to use the team I just used there. Once again, Sarabia can come back in now. Jesse can get back out wide, even though he did really well there, to be fair. We'll go with these guys again. Want my best players available for that Champions League game. So let's just get into this here. Finish this video off with hopefully another win in the Premier League. Not that it matters. Look at that. 31 points clear. It's not even close. Not even close. It's quite pathetic how poor other teams do. I mean, I've granted it's probably been a bit too easy. If I was to run another season, I think I'd have to move the difficulty up once again. But that's something we can talk about in future videos. Let's get in here anyway. Get ourselves 1 more win against West Ham. And there we go. We round out today's video with a reasonably comfortable 3-1 victory over West Ham at Villa Park. Another 3 points in the league as we edge towards that elusive 100-point mark in the Premier League. Goals coming from all around, as it has been this video. Iheanacho looking to score again. Been so much talent on fire with him in this video. But Sinclair got the opening goal, sneaking in at the back post. But after that, we had a bit of a mix-up between defender and goalkeeper. Richardson got there first and cut it back, and West Ham got the equaliser. And for the first time this week, we were a little bit rocked. It was sitting at 1-0. Sarabia had a chance to score, chose the wrong option, trying to sneak it in at the near post when the far side of the goal was gaping. But he made amends from the resulting corner by putting in a fantastic delivery. Vadacore rose to meet and scored a goal. We don't get many headed goals, but the centre half, who's agreed to commit himself to the club, finally gets himself a goal, maintains our lead, and then we slot it through, and it's well saved by Bazoa on Adrian, but it falls kindly to Iheanacho. He does get himself his goal. That's 5 goals in 4 games for him. Really, really on fire right now. And Koya, he came on trying to score. That was an absolutely fantastic save by Adrian as he was trying to look to extend his lead at the top of the Golden Boot leaderboard. But there it is. At the end of the day, it was 3-1. Look at 12 shots, 11 on target. Adrian was probably man of the match. Made a string of beautiful saves to keep the score at a reasonable looking score on the board. And there we go. That is it for this week. We'll just do our quick simulation here and then get up to the game. And that's where I will leave you for this week with the anticipation of the Champions League semi-final to come. So it's been a really successful video. We've continued to win in the league. We'll do a little press conference here. We're going to motivate our praise our boys once again. So we will simulate up to here. We will leave it here for now. and semi-final of the Champions League against Bayern Munich. It doesn't get any bigger than that. Can't wait to get into that with you next week. We'll leave it here for now. Like I said, really good video. We're in the final of the FA Cup as well. Don't forget, all the silverware could be coming to Villa before the season ends. So that's it for this week. Thank you very much for tuning in and watching, everyone. If you want to see anyone getting more game time, let me know. But I think we've got it pretty nailed down right now with who our strong players were. And both our teams now are so good, it doesn't seem to really matter. There you go. You can see in the bottom right hand corner, Real Madrid already taken a lead in the other semi-final. But yes, thank you for watching, everyone. I will see you next week for the huge game against Bayern Munich.